All right, let's talk about it. Netflix is in the process, at least, of purchasing Warner Brothers and HBO for $82 billion. Money is just not real. Now, this isn't official. It technically is not complete. There's going to be some antitrust lawsuits, probably, some hurdles to clear, including that of, getting the White House's approval, which, okay. Acquisition expected to close in Q3 2026, so we are still a ways away of this, and honestly I think it could be even longer than that. There's going to be a lot of legal battles over the next coming months and months of this. In a move that will drastically reshape the entertainment business, Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery announced an agreement Friday under which Netflix will acquire Warner Bros., including its film and TV studios, gaming business, HBO Max, and HBO. Okay, some finance stuff that I wish I didn't have to read because I just want to enjoy the movies. I really wish that this was not the life that we are living in right now. I know some of you are surprised. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, aka basically the Antichrist, Netflix has been more builders than buyers. Well, where does $82 billion come from? Netflix said it expects to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations and build on its strengths, including theatrical releases for films. Warner Brothers has deals to release films in cinemas through 2029, so we've got that. But the statements being put out are basically already contradicting each other, especially Ted Sarandos' statements of theatrical releases, but we'll get to that. This Variety article, I think, does a pretty good job of summing everything up on the initial, and then we'll talk about kind of the repercussions of all this as we go. By adding the deep film and TV libraries and HBO Max programming, Netflix members will have even more high-quality titles from which to choose. This allows Netflix to optimize its plans for consumers, enhancing viewing options and expanding access to content. I just hate the fucking corporate speak that we have to deal with in these ridiculous statements. More about stock prices and shares. Annoying. According to the companies, this acquisition brings together two pioneering entertainment businesses, combining Netflix innovation, global reach, and best-in-class streaming service with Warner Bros. Century-long franchise. This statement kills me here. Century-long legacy of world-class storytelling, beloved franchise shows such as The Big Bang Theory, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wizard of Oz, and the DC Universe will join Netflix's portfolio that include Wednesday, Money Heist, Bridgerton, Adolescence, and Extraction. Extraction is trash. It's fun trash, but it's trash. Creating an extraordinary entertainment offering. I mean, good lord. We don't know what Zaslav's role is going to be in this, which, whatever, man. This guy is evil. This is kind of the saving grace here. David Ellison's Paramount Skydance, which, they're just a mega corporation too, so, pick your poison, I guess, is emphasizing that this cannot happen. So there was a representative wrote a letter to the Trump administration saying that with more than 300 million global subscribers and vast content library, Netflix currently unwields unequaled market power, which, yeah, that's true. But so do all these other freaking tech companies that are just masquerading as our streaming services and our movie studios and stuff. It's ridiculous. It's a joke that the lack of regulation is just awful. Hollywood industry groups, including the Directors Guild and most recently the Writers Guild, actually, I think I just saw, they've come out saying that they cannot let this merger take place, that we need to stop this merger. It's just going to be no good for anyone long term. Per Netflix, this acquisition will enhance studio capabilities, allow the company to significantly expand U.S. production capacity, continue to grow investment in original content over the long term, which will create jobs and strengthen the entertainment industry. We all know that's a lie, because when mergers happen, people just get freaking laid off and everything shrinks, and now there's less people telling you what you get to look at, and it's just one company telling you, hey, enjoy this slop that will eventually become AI, probably. Here's another hilarious statement. By combining Warner Brothers' incredible library of shows and movies, from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane to modern favorites like Harry Potter and Friends, with Netflix's culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Squid Game, we'll be able to do that even better. Dude, shut up, man. Comparing Casablanca and Citizen Kane to freaking Squid Games, that trash. This is ridiculous, man. I'm so mad. When I heard this news, I was just pretty depressed about it, man. It just seems like everything is getting worse. This is all in benefit of like 4 people getting just more money that are already multi-hundred millionaires or billionaires. And it doesn't really end there, because more statements got put out after the initial, hey, this deal is going to happen, assuming it happens. This guy, the devil himself, Ted Sarandos, saying the movie theater model is outdated. Most of the country cannot walk to a multiplex. Okay, I mean, yeah, I agree with that statement. Most of the country can't walk to a multiplex. Who's that a failure on? Gee, I wonder. He says we're saving Hollywood. Oh, okay. My bad, Ted. My bad. Netflix is a very consumer-focused company. Yeah, sure. We really do care that we deliver the program to you in a way you want to watch it. When you, as a company, especially one that provides, content, we'll say, when you have to reiterate that, like, hey, we actually care about the content, and we're focused on you guys, and definitely not our stock prices, definitely not our shareholders. Also, your monthly subscription streaming price just went up like $6 again for the 8th time this year. Using the struggling box office as an example, boo. Sarandos added, what does that say? What is the consumer trying to tell us? That they'd like to watch movies at home. Thank you. Reading the context of this is very weird. Why is he saying thank you? The studios and the theaters are duking it out over trying to preserve this 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience of just loving a movie. Okay, so in the first statement, in the previous article, the original announcement of the article, it was made very clear that like theatrical releases are very important to Netflix's acquirement of Warner Brothers, and they want to keep that. They have deals up until 2029 for some theatrical releases, so those have to stay. But sounds like, okay, if 45 days is too long of a window, which is a month and a half basically, which is already like way too short. Okay, so what's it going to then? A week in theaters and then it's on Netflix? Like, what do you mean? Netflix is not entirely removed from the movie theater business, as the company owns Los Angeles-based theater and New York Paris theater, which Sarandos says Netflix saved from becoming a Walgreens. We didn't save it to save the theater business. We saved it to save the theater experience. Dude, shut up! Then release more movies in theaters, man. Come on. Have them, like, I don't understand what... He's criticizing the theatrical release as a concept, but offers no real solution as to like what can be done to save it. He's just saying like, people want to watch it at home. We love the theatrical experience. We're saving Hollywood. What's the solution? There is none, I guess. Everything's just going to drop on freaking Netflix in 5 years with no press, with no glorification, with no one caring about it, man. Like, it is just a bummer. It's such a bummer. Folks grew up thinking, I want to make movies on a gigantic screen and have strangers watch them, and to have them play in the theater for 2 months and people cry and sold out shows. It's an outdated concept. Why? You're the one that's saying that. You're the one that's forcing it to become outdated. Now, not just you alone. All these freaking streaming services during at the start of the pandemic, when they all were racing to get their stupid streaming services up that cannot gross a profit, they ruined they're making the model outdated. Like, if they just stopped with these straight to streaming and short theatrical windows release, like, if they just put them back in theaters, there's money on the table for you guys. It makes no sense to me. Asked specifically if the desire of filmmakers wanting to make movies for movie theaters for the communal experience is an outmoded idea, Sarandos said, I think it is. For most people, not for everybody. Like, are you kidding me? Going to the movie theaters is fun. Like, it's a thing to do. I just don't understand. Sarandos insists that he loves movie theaters, but of course their decline does not bother him. Instead, he said he would be bothered if people stopped making great movies. So all that is terrible, but there's even a different part here outside of the consumer experience, which is like the backbone of salaries that actors and actresses have been making for years is residuals, which is, you know, when a movie or a TV show episode that you are in plays on TV, specifically cable, you got a check for X amount of dollars because, you know, they're using you in this time slot. You know, that's why the Friends cast and the Office cast and, you know, even the freaking Impractical Jokers guys, like those guys will be rich for life because of residuals on cable TV. This person, Lucia, I still get residuals for an episode of The Deuce for HBO. Has anyone watched The Deuce? I mean, not a lot of people. Then I did an episode of the Netflix's 4 Seasons and got paid for 1 day only. But then they own my image in perpetuity, and it had over 2 billion streams. No residuals for the 4 Seasons. Like, are you kidding me? Alec Robbins. A couple years back, we learned that major cast members of Netflix originals like Orange is the New Black made $28 in residual checks. For comparison, this guy, Alec Robbins, appeared in non-speaking roles for the Eric Andre Show and make $400 every time it airs. And then I worked on Netflix shows when we were still getting paid new media rates, which were negotiated for the dawn of web series and not for modern day streaming services. Are you kidding me? Web series, like things that would appear on like Facebook when that was a thing. So you are able, that is the whole long-term goal of these streaming services, is we don't have to pay people as much money as we do for the cable stuff. Like, we just don't. Residuals are basically non-existent for streaming, even though we are running ads in between your shows and your movies. So we are playing you commercials, but guess what? We don't have to pay you as much, which means more money for the shareholders, the guys that already have too much freaking money. And just to sum it all up, love this tweet: groceries, get them delivered. Books, buy them on Amazon. F libraries and bookstores, stop buying all these physical media. Everything's on the freaking cloud. Movie theaters, obsolete. Subscribe to 10 different platforms instead. Stay inside, be afraid of your neighbors, work till you die. They want you alone and miserable. Talking to people IRL is the key to everything. Go to the movie theaters. Enjoy a night on the town. You don't need to. I know popcorn and drinks are expensive. Go to freaking Dollar General. Go to Five Below. Get some candy. Sneak it in the movie theaters. Who cares? You don't have to spend $100 and $150 on a night out like that. Movie theaters used to be such a staple. And yeah, I know it's frustrating that tickets to your average screening are $12, $13. And if you want to see something in 3D or an IMAX or whatever, it's closer to like 15 or 16. Yeah. That's annoying, and that's a pain, and that's a battle for another day. I don't really know how to get around that part. So what does all this mean exactly? I'm trying to kind of parse through my thoughts. I don't have a lot of good thoughts, I'll say. Discussing film, which I don't know. Are they like an actual outlet, or are they more of just like an aggregator? Maybe, but they wrote an article here, so... 6 major outcomes, basically all in the negative. Killing theatrical windows. Yeah, he's already announced plans to change the theatrical release model over the next few years. Obviously, once the deals that Warner Brothers currently have run out, like, that's basically going to be it. The best case scenario seems to be 14 to 30 day theatrical windows with the hope that they are wide releases. Like, what? People can be busy for 2 weeks. So am I just not going to catch a movie in theaters, and then you're going to force me to log on to your shitty streaming service that I pay way too much money for to watch it? What about Sinners? What about One Battle After Another? What about the freaking Minecraft movie and Minions and Zootopia 2? Like, do we not? Those were like the cultural icons of the movie-going business for like 2 years now. The Minecraft stuff of, you know, freaking out and throwing popcorn everywhere. Yeah, that's like annoying and not great. But like, it was a thing that brought people together. It was good for society. Like, yeah, it was a bunch of teenagers acting up, but it's ultimately like harmless stuff. And it was getting people together in a room and being social and, you know, not being on freaking TikTok or Instagram Reels for 5 hours a day straight. Like, I just don't understand. Why can't more people see that this is like so evil? It's ridiculous. One Battle After Another. It's Paul Thomas Anderson's highest grossing movie of all time. Like, it's made such good money. Sinners was huge because of how nerdy Ryan Coogler is about the 70mm and the Panavision stuff and going over the different formats. Like, he fought so hard for this to be, you know, this big blockbuster release, and it worked. Like, this made so much money. If these guys care about money so much, put it in theaters and advertise the hell out of it and make people care about this stuff. Another great thing about streaming, a vault of classics is put at risk. You know, at any point, I assume, you know, let's assume this deal goes through in 2 years, all of the Harry Potter stuff and Game of Thrones will be on Netflix or whatever app. And then at the drop of a button, you know, if someone's in a mood, Game of Thrones could just be gone forever. I'm sure there's physical releases of Game of Thrones. I don't own them, but you know, what if they're just like, let's take Game of Thrones off the streaming app. Then it's just gone. You just don't get to watch it anymore. Doesn't seem great. I don't want Netflix holding The Wizard of Oz and Citizen Kane and Casablanca. Like, what? Huh? Netflix doesn't do physical media releases. And look, I wish I did more physical media. I just don't really have the room for it. It's just really bad, man. They don't want you to own anything. They want you to subscribe to the illusion of owning something, and it's terrible. This last point that discussing film makes is that like Warner Brothers games could help fix Netflix's one failure, which is the fact that you can like play video games on Netflix. Technically, it's weird. I don't really get it. However, in acquiring Warner Brothers, Netflix gains the keys to 3 successful gaming studios: NetherRealm, Rocksteady, and TT Games. Sure, I don't know. Whatever, man. Just get video games away from Netflix. Stop it. I can't take it anymore, man. Why is everything digital? Why do you own nothing? Why, despite the fact that you pay $60, $70, $80 for video games, you have to download them anyways? And at any point, if Sony or Microsoft on a PlayStation or an Xbox decides to remove them from the library, well, then you don't get to play them anymore, even though you paid money for them. Like, it's such a freaking joke. Ultimately, this is not good. Now, I'm trying to remain a little bit optimistic here as we go. I don't know what the future is. You hope that maybe the Trump administration does something decent for once and maybe strikes this deal down. Maybe Ellison has the ear of him enough, even though that's a whole other situation. I don't know. I don't really want to think about that too much. But I don't want to think about any of this. Like, this is not, you know, I not to be old man yells at cloud about the old days, but like in the old days, you didn't have to worry about this stuff. There were multiple studios making multiple movies, and the heads of those studios cared. Yeah, maybe they were, you know, assholes or even criminals and bad people, but like they were doing this because they felt that they were important to the art of movies and making movies. And now the people running these studios are just tech bros that see this as a way to consolidate power, to get rich, and then sell it off for nothing, and then move on to the next thing that they can ruin. And that's just what they're doing. And it's just such a bummer to see this. And it's not finally, I guess, because it's always been coming with other movie studios shutting down and merging and whatnot. But like, this is the biggest one. $82 billion deal. Money's not real. $82 billion, man. Come on. I don't know. I don't really have any upbeat takes about this. I guess the only thing I could say is, you know, the next couple years are probably going to be somewhat business as usual. We won't really notice too much of a difference. And, you know, movies have survived going from silent films to sound and color. It survived other mergers and dissolution of studios. It can survive this. You know, you gotta remain a little hopeful here in this world nowadays. But this is a bummer, man. I just, you know, I hope people start to realize that, you know, these guys in charge here don't care about you. They want you as dumb and as isolated as possible, mainly just so they can sell ads to you. So, you know, sell your data to more advertisers. And so they can just shove more ads down your throat and they can get paid and everything will get worse. And eventually, you know, you'll just go into Netflix and in your AI search bar be like, hey, create me a show where there's a big third act twist involving a guy and a girl set in the 80s in Miami, Florida. And it'll just generate some BS that sucks and has no human spirit in it at all. That's a little too doom and gloom, but you know, if they could do that, they probably would. So we'll see. And they probably are, just maybe not announcing it. All right, well, that's all my thoughts. They're not great thoughts. Let's hope this deal gets shut down or something. I don't know. Bummer. I just want to talk about movies. I don't want to talk about the economics of financing movie studios. It's highly, highly annoying. All I can say is go see movies in theaters. Go be around other people. Go socialize. Go out to a bar. Go out to a restaurant. Go to the casino. Maybe don't go to the casino, but go enjoy the human experience. The human experience is not just sitting on your couch with TikTok in one hand and Netflix in the background as your second screen. Go be better than that. Because they don't want you to. They want you dumbed down as much as possible so that they can control you better. All right. See you in the next video, I guess. Goodbye.